You probably know the feeling. You're driving down your street, swerving around the exact same pothole that has been growing for months. The street lights are out and the water pressure drops when you need it most. When local government breaks down, you feel it immediately. That is why we are going to look at the 2026 municipal elections a little differently. The Inkatha Freedom Party, or the IFP. They are pitching a style of governing that they call pragmatic traditionalism, and the stakes for this hire are high. 7 out of 10 voters say unemployment is their biggest concern, with an entire generation of young people carrying immense anxiety about finding a place in the economy. To fix this, the IFP's pitch completely rejects the idea of a radical revolution, and they don't promise a socialist government that will do everything for you. Instead, they are offering strict, culturally grounded management to get the basics working again. Let's look at their core philosophy. The IFP bases its approach on the concept of Ubuntu, the idea that I am because we are. In government, they translate this into servant leadership. They argue that a mayor should work for the town rather than treating the town as a piggy bank for political elites. In practice, this means strict social conservatism. The party supports harsh penalties for crime and believes that preserving traditional family structures is the best way to keep a community stable and safe. Economically, they take a very practical view of social grants. They support grants as a necessary lifeline to keep people from starving, but they warn that relying on permanent government payouts will eventually drain the country's wallet. The IFP views effective governance as a tool for building community discipline, where dignity comes from the creation of jobs rather than the distribution of relief. To make that happen, the IFP wants to change how the government is structured. Right now, a massive national government at the center hoards the money and makes the big decisions, leaving local towns starved for resources. To bypass this, the IFP focuses on moving power away from the capital. By shifting budgets and decision-making directly to local mayors and traditional leaders, they aim to create a federal system where your neighborhood fixes its own problems without waiting for national permission. This focus on local control is deep in their history. Back in the 1970s and 80s, under their founder, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, the party ran the local KwaZulu administration. They used that local authority to build thousands of schools and rural clinics. So back to your hiring decision. The IFP is asking you to cut out the massive national bureaucracy so that local managers can fix your neighborhood directly. Who is leading this effort today? Meet Velenkosini Hlabisa. Unlike older politicians, he isn't a historical struggle icon. He has a practical background as a former schoolteacher and a long-serving municipal mayor. Hlabisa's strategy relies on a professionalized civil service, where city managers are hired for their technical skills and audit experience rather than their political connections. This focus on expertise has helped several IFP-run areas in KwaZulu-Natal earn clean audits, the government's highest grade for financial integrity. For the 2026 elections, they have a very specific plan to tackle that massive youth unemployment problem. They want to set up local job registers in every town hall, directly matching unemployed residents with municipal repair projects and local businesses. They point to their clean financial records in places like the King Sechweo district to prove that this practical, skills-based approach actually keeps the roads paved and the water running. But every resume has weak spots. While the IFP campaigns heavily on clean governance, they have faced serious local corruption issues that challenge that claim. In 2023, a scandal broke in the Abakulusi municipality when a mayor was caught on tape allegedly demanding sexual favors in exchange for municipal jobs. It highlighted a frequent criticism that traditional top-down authority can sometimes protect people who abuse their power. There is also intense legal friction over the Ingonyama Trust, an IFP-supported board that controls millions of hectares of rural land. Courts recently found that the trust acted unlawfully by forcing local residents to sign leases and pay rent for their own homes. As a voter, you have to weigh their promise of protecting traditional culture against the reality that some residents have been treated as paying tenants on the land their families have farmed for generations. The 2026 election in places like KwaZulu-Natal is shaping up to be a tight three-way race between the long-established ANC, the highly disruptive new MK party, and the IFP. The IFP is placing itself right in the middle. They offer a strict, effective alternative to the old establishment, but they promise a foundation of stability to voters who might be wary of the unpredictability of newer populist movements. Their entire pitch rests on one central question: can you successfully blend traditional African cultural values with highly professional, modern city management? You are the hiring manager. You've seen the resume, the strengths, and the red flags. Now it's time to conduct the final interview. Check your voter registration and make your hiring choice at the ballot box.